Good afternoon. My name is Clara De Harris, and I would like to welcome you to our presentation on email and text message integration, which is part of the proven CRM track. Again, my name is Clara De Harris. I'm one of the trainers of CANM Systems, and I would like to welcome you all again once more to our proven 2021 user conference. Now, we would like also to make a special shout out to our partner sponsors who are responsible for helping us set up this presentation. And they are Encircle, CloudNet, CleanClaims, CoreLogic, Invisitag, and Exactaware. Microphones are muted during this presentation. Please raise any questions that you may have in the chat box. I will definitely be able to capture them as this session is being recorded. Attendees will be provided with a link to the presentation through their particular Dropbox accounts. And towards the end, as you will see, I will just like to make a special request at the very end. So going forward, our topic for today will be about email integration, including how to set up your signature and templates once you have connected your CRM to your particular company email account. Now, I will also be showing you how to send and reply to emails from within the CRM integrated email account. And then for the text messaging part, it's actually part of the marketing module, and I will be describing in the marketing module how to send bulk emails and also how to send bulk SMS, which is part of the text message integration that you can do with CRM. So going forward, once again, now for those of you who have recalled or set up their emails before with CRM, it's quite a little bit of a convoluted process, as you will see in the next few seconds. And I will also be contrasting that with the new way of integrating email, which is by the use of a special wizard recently developed by CANM Systems. Okay, so going forward, now I will be going into the CRM. First of all, I clicked the old way. First of all, let me contrast the old way. The old way would be like this. You have to go through that, my email settings. And then you will see, if you remember, okay, you have to fill this up. And sometimes you're scratching your head. Okay, what are those numbers again? I don't even know what those port numbers are doing. So it's a little bit of a convoluted process, as mentioned in the previous slide. The new way would simply be, instead of going to that and then go somewhere else and click multiple clicks, you simply do one click, which is if I expand this, the inbox module of the CRM. And notice that this is the pristine state that I was speaking about. It's a wizard. So just like the wizard, it's prompting you. So since my particular email account is Office 365, well, Outlook as part of Office 365, I choose that. Go to the next prompt. Now, the email address that I really want would be different, a little bit different. So I will use the my CanAm Sys email address. Go to next for the next prompt, and notice it immediately integrates. I practically didn't do anything except a few clicks. I can receive messages from somebody from the outside who sent a message to my Outlook and take a look at it in CRM. I am also able to send messages out. We will do that later on. And what the users will see on the other side, the recipient that is, would be, it is as if it's coming from claro@canamsys.com, although I sent it from the CRM. Okay, so having done this, before we do any sending, I will go back and mention to you the next things that we will cover. Importantly, before I do any sending, I must set up my email signature, okay, in the CRM version of my email. Well, while I'm at it, I will also be acquainting you with how you can use efficiently email templates. And while we're here in this location, I will also show you its neighbor, which is how to create note templates. And finally, we will be encountering how actually you can be able to send email from the note record that you can create. But first, the email signature. So in order to do that, for the signature, I need to go first of all to this part here and then go to my email settings. The signature link is still here. Okay, so clicking on here, now I'm going to create my signature. So how do I normally create my signature? The easiest way, of course, if I want to duplicate the one in my Canam account would be, well, I already generated this send new message item or new message item in Outlook. So I will simply copy and paste it to my CRM. So once I do that, do a right click and then paste. You will automatically get this message, especially if I am using Outlook. Now, you'll be saying it doesn't look very much like the one in Outlook. It's a little bit not nice looking. Okay, so there will be a little bit of adjustments that I will be making in order for this to look very similar to the one that is showing up as my signature in Outlook. Now, one of the things you will have noticed is that it seems to have those particular unwanted spaces. Now, this is effectively a text message, which means no special formatting that's found in Microsoft documents. So the trick I will do to remove those particular unwanted spaces would be do a backspace, which will align it there. Now, before, however, I hit the enter to make it go to another line just below it, I will simultaneously press with the enter the shift button. When I do that, notice that the unwanted, that's the technique to remove the unwanted space. I will do that repeatedly until I have approximated the no space feature of my signature in Outlook in this particular portion. Okay. Now, without saying, while I'm doing this, I will actually do the image cleanup last. Okay, so taking care of that. I will take care of this. This I will just adjust a little bit. And finally, just to double check over there, maybe I'll just make, okay, one space gone, and I will make the picture disappear. Okay, so what about the picture? Now, in order for graphics to properly go into CRM, I mean, not graphics, but picture files or pictures, first I need to open this and see why am I doing this. CRM requires this for the image creation of the picture part of your signature. So you all know the insert command in Word, and the idea is I will retrieve my picture and make it go into this Word document. So this device, I've already done this in pictures, so that's the reason why I will make that go in here. Now, what I will do before I even do anything is I will be tweaking this to a respectable size that I want people to see that's proportionate to the text in my signature. Now, the technique here is I will then do a right click and then do a copy. Move it over here into, and then I will, you see that little bit of a word icon. I will click here, and then it's saying here I cannot use the right click paste, so I will use the Windows version of pasting, which is Control V. So I have put my cursor in there, and then Control V, there's my particular image. Now what I will simply do is to click on paste. So it will now go inside, and all I need to do now is to make a little bit of adjustment, and voila. Then of course in CRM, do not forget whenever you make a change, always click update, which is your best friend, signature updated. I click on close. Now I will create a template before creating a new email. So in order to create the template, only the admin can do that. Again, only the admin can do and create a template, but everyone else can use the template. So only admin can create, everybody can use once admin completes the creation of templates. I simply go here. So this view is only available to the admin, company admin of your CRM in your office. And notice that in my case, since I'm an admin, I have already created a bunch of templates. Now, of course, templates are simply nothing more but to ensure that everyone in the office uses the same verbiage or standard in expressing the same sentiments and emotions and communication to your contacts and organization that you deal with. Okay, you already know probably by simply looking at this that in order to create a new template, you simply do here, go here to plus new, use the verb, put any verbiage and any font alteration that you want to do using this. Of course, you give it a title so that once you actually click on save, it will actually have the title showing up here. Now, as you can already guess, you see, in order to delete, you simply highlight what you want to delete and click delete. Now, I also mentioned earlier, this is a good time as any to create notes templates because as I mentioned, they're neighbors, okay? So they have the same idea. The only difference is you're trying to have a standard way for your sales team to create notes against their organization records and against their contact records. Again, this is just a particular option. You do not need to use it, but however, it's there. Now, what I will do now is to go back to our main discussion, which is now we want to create a new email for sending. So notice that if I click here, the good news is, oh, there it is. My signature is showing up. Now, one of those templates, now I am acting like not as an administrator, I'm now acting as a user. So there are some of those that we have already seen before in my list of templates. So I will select happy birthday and notice that all I need to do is to change this particular item or line by simply putting my name and the name of the recipient. Now, in this case, by clicking plus, as long as your particular contact record have their email records present within, you could already choose, and I selected Tom Turner. There you go. And I simply close here, and I can type the subject, and by hitting send, I will also be sending it out, and they will get the email from my claro@canamsys.com email address. Now, if you're wondering, does it also store within the simultaneously within the send folder of your particular Outlook? Okay, Outlook, not CRM. The answer is yes. Okay, so perfectly because they're in sync. Now I'll simply go away from here, and we have already covered how you are going to be able to send messages using your CRM. Going back here, let's go next. So we already covered how to send a new email. Okay, and then we will also be now covering how to reply to email, then the email search function and inbox inactivities. Okay, so again, let's go back to the CRM. So what do I mean by the replying to email? So I could click here. Well, this is already the one. As you can see here, there are those particular icons that you may already be familiar with from other email clients, not Outlook. And if I click reply all or reply, there it is. And I would simply be typing. And again, when I send this will be retrieved by my recipient as if it came from claro@canamsys.com. For those of you who are already familiar with Outlook, you probably have been using this. And notice there's the filter that will allow you to filter by the different parts of the email. Now, I would like to request or beg the apology or express my apologies to those of you who are using Gmail. Of course, I forgot to mention earlier that the same integration can be used by Gmail. You probably saw already also that you can choose Gmail instead. And the same thing with Gmail. Gmail also has a similar filter field like this. So same idea. So therefore, I could actually search by subject. And what I'm saying is within CRM, I can use the same technique. So we have our own equivalent of those different parts of the email in order for you to do your searching using this. And instead of you seeing my inbox, you will be able to see actually the emails or conforming, not confirming, to your particular parts that you wanted to filter by. They will then show up in that list over here. Okay, so that's how you do the search. Very much like in parallel to the Outlook one. Okay, now again, we mentioned here, okay, inbox inactivities. What does that mean? What I mean to say is that if you're familiar with your, and I'm pretty sure you are, of course, with your contact records and your organization records, you do know that when you open any one of them, in this case, I'm going to open the contact record, there is always an activities link also present in the organization record. And one of them, of course, will be notes, okay? But first, we will cover the inbox. So when I go to the inbox, what this is simply doing is it's giving me a sort of filtered view of my overall inbox. So what it's trying to do as a default is to see if there are any messages related to Andy Capel that somebody else sent me or he himself sent to me. And remember, it is only looking at the inbox. Only the inbox, not the private folders. So right now, it's saying, I did my best. I look for anything related to Andy Capel, whether in the body, whether in the from field, whether in the subject line, none at this point. Now, so you could actually do the same if you don't want Andy. Had there been other persons here, you could have actually chosen the other person. So right now, Andy is the only contact within that company. But if there were multiple contacts, by clicking individually on each of the contact that shows up, CRM will attempt to filter the body, the text, the body text, the subject, and the from to see if there's anything that came in from Andy. And you will be able to see this, to see the email related to Andy. Now, here's a question you may be asking. What if another person actually simultaneously or goes into the same record? Will he be able to see my email? Because, hey, my email is connected here, and this is part of the record. And of course, that means privacy issues to some of you. I can assure you, no privacy problem. Okay, no privacy problem. What they will see is their own inbox with others. So meaning I want them to see the same email. But again, you need to be able to counterbalance that against other users of CRM who are equally numerous who have privacy issues. Therefore, in order to resolve that, what we strongly suggest is simply do the old-fashioned way. If there's anything from Andy, simply do a copy, not a cut and paste, but a copy from the email part, and then go to your notes and then create a note record. Put it in here, and probably you will be using one of the MK topics, which would be probably maybe you will have something like receive email, and that's it. Which also is a very good segue because now it gives me an opportunity to go to notes and show you, so what's that email thing you were talking about that can come from notes? Okay, so again, maybe I distracted you and you didn't notice the send email. It has always been there. So the idea here, of course, is that if there's a user or a particular person in your company who is not a part of CRM, let's say the owner, now the owner may not be a CRM user, but this is a very important note that you created and you want him to know, especially if it's the result of a meeting, then while typing, for example, you can set this and then you can type the email address. And then after you have typed all your notes and then filled out the other items, simultaneously, when you click save and close, not only will this note be automatically created against Andy's contact record, simultaneously an email will be coming out from claro@canamsys.com, let's say headed to the owner of my company who is not a CRM user. So he will see the note, and that's just a use of another use of the email that you integrated into CRM. Now, the next phase would be, let's move on, the marketing module. Okay. So therefore, what we need to see here would be integration with MailChimp and Mailgun. Why can't I just use my marketing module? Okay, so that is a very important question, and it all goes back to here. So you're wondering, hey, I can act, if I go here, Claro, I can actually, by going to campaigns, and then if I could actually use my own email account, meaning the company email account, to broadcast it. So why do I need to engage the services of people like MailChimp and Mailgun? Okay, for a couple of reasons. Without MailChimp and Mailgun, you run the risk of actually being labeled as a spammer. Okay, who labels me as a spammer? Who can label me as a spammer? Well, number one, the one who provides you your email, Gmail or Outlook, for example, here. They only have, maybe you are blissfully unaware, well, and you'll hate me right now because now I removed that blissfulness of ignorance. Now you know. It's telling you they have certain messages that are allowed only on certain days by the hour or by the day. And if you exceed this in any of the parameters, see here, block, 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 you will be blocked. And you will get a lot of irate users who are saying, why am I blocked? And the answer is, well, he spammed it. He sent too many bulk emails. So the idea with actually using MailChimp and Mailgun, I have a MailChimp account, for example, is I'm offloading the job of mass emailing to somebody else, although theoretically it will bear my email address. It is not really using my email address, my Gmail or my Outlook. It looks like it uses it, but not. So therefore, I am not putting my company at risk of exceeding these thresholds that I don't even know about. Besides, who's counting? If you're working on a day-to-day basis, are you counting? You're not, but you know that it can come back to bite you if you accidentally exceed. Even if it's accidental, you will be blocked. So therefore, for peace of mind, that's one of the answers why you engage MailChimp and Mailgun. Peace of mind. So therefore, first thing you need to do is to get your API keys. I already generated mine. And how does it look like in my CRM? If I go here and then go to my CRM by going here, company information, go to MailChimp. I have already copied it over here. So my email and my CRM is integrated. Now, what's the general idea really? So the general idea is simply for you to be able, okay, to use your CRM, this part over here, to integrate with MailChimp. So essentially, CRM will be playing the supporting role. Again, supporting role. The main role of sending the email is MailChimp. Now, you have to get MailChimp first before you can integrate. Okay, we do not give the subscription. This is a third party that you will need to talk with. But once you have integrated, like what I did with the API key, uses now the marketing campaign. By doing this, I am now beginning a new campaign. I'm choosing, I will now choose MailChimp. Essentially, I'm saying, let's say by saying test, and then a scheduled date, I will be launching it on the 30th, and then click save and close. Okay, so there's test. What I'm trying to do here is, okay, this test will eventually find its way through the integration to MailChimp. Now, the problem with MailChimp is that you don't have anybody here. You don't have a user list. So essentially, what you're going to do is to push a mailing list from your CRM into MailChimp instead of you doing it one by one here. And how do you do that push? Okay, so if you go again back to the CRM, okay, let's say I open this. Okay, first it will ask me, hey, give me the listing of the people, well, that you want. Okay, there's one back step. So in MailChimp, you should already have created what they call an audience. So it's like a shell. So in MailChimp, whenever they speak about audiences, it's actually the same as saying mailing list. So you're creating a mailing list that's empty, and your purpose with CRM is to push from number 2 a certain listing of contacts. If you, for example, filter all your contact records, whatever remains, and then you click send, select email, they will be pushed eventually into MailChimp. So I need to click here. And then therefore, if I go back to the campaign here, so right now I already have one. I can even continue creating emails that are not in the contact records. Once completed, I can click on send. So once sent, I have now, so see here, the audience has to be created in MailChimp, the name of the audience. So that addresses will be pushed. And what will happen is you will then create all your messages within MailChimp, the template that you would want to send out. Okay. Now, once you execute the campaign, MailChimp and CRM will be talking to each other, in which case MailChimp essentially is telling CRM, hey, CRM, there are some bounced messages. So eventually, you'll be seeing, for example, a list of any messages that bounced. Okay, so they will, it's not visible here, but eventually it will show up, like for example in this. And that's the way they integrate with each other. Now the text messaging part is very much similar to this. The only difference is with the source. It doesn't use MailChimp, by the way, the SMS. It works on its own with another company called Twilio. And click the new record for you to see it. Instead of choosing company email, there would be a fourth version here called SMS. We have not turned it on, but if you wish to turn it on for you to use it, just let us know. We will turn it on for you. The idea is the same. It will push it out through SMS, but this time through another integration that we have, which is already there, called Twilio. Okay? Now, once we, Twilio actually, if you will actually require, for example, for each sending, 1 credit for every SMS sent. So you can always call this number, which we will provide you. This is the closest number to your address. And then you can contact Twilio and say, I need more credits. Twilio will bill you $8 per 100 credits. So that's their going rate. Okay, so the same idea. The marketing campaign, instead of going into MailChimp, will go into Twilio. Twilio will do, it will be sent to you through Twilio. Okay. So what do we have next? We now go here. Okay, so what did we cover? We covered all of these things. I also provided you with some materials. If you are interested in more things about spam and how to avoid being a spammer, this first part is for American clients. Second one is for Canadian clients. And this one is for both types of clients. And finally, feel free to contact us. And also, before you go, we would just like to request your kindly filling out this particular questions or answering these questions by clicking on the chat box of your particular access to Zoom and just putting your answers over there.